have a new book out. The good news, it's not as long as the last one, look at that. The last one was 120,000 words about skiffle. Who knew? Who knew there were 120,000 words about skiffle, madam?
Yes!
What is skiffle? You're asking yourself? You don't know. That's why I wrote the fucking book. It's all there, madam. It's all there. You've got it. Well done, madam. Don't show if you want to want one as well. We did have some for sale, but the bastards down in Washington DC bought all those as well. What is it with them? But I do know they have some. They have some at the Harvard bookstore. I know that because I did an event, a great event down there with them the other night. The 3 dimensions of freedom. It makes the argument that in our modern society, the current idea of freedom, that freedom is somehow what we really should call liberty, the right to say whatever you want, whenever you want, to whoever you want, with no comeback. That's not really the definition of free speech. That's the definition of Donald Trump's Twitter feed. In order for us to be able to have some kind of discourse, some kind of real freedom, where everybody enjoys the fruits of liberty, there need to be, I argue, 2 other dimensions. The first is equality. Yeah. And by that, I just don't mean the basic fundamental equality that comes with humanity, but the equality in debate to respect the other person's point of view. Yes. To respond to it if you disagree with them in a civil way, not to attack them personally, not to abuse them, and to bring back the idea of deliberation. There's too much polarisation in our debates. At the moment in my country, all the debate is around no deal over Ian Brexit or abolish Brexit altogether. That's the two extremes where really Brexit is really all about nuance. It's all about nuance. If we are to stop Brexit, it's going to be the nuance of the Good Friday Peace Accord that stops it. Yeah. It's going to be the nuance of the border in Ireland that stops it. It's going to be the nuance of the 3.1 million EU citizens who have lived and loved and had families and contributed to my country over the last 40 years while we've been members. It's that nuance that ultimately, is anyone interested in that? Oh, they fuck. In the election, the European election that happened in July, most of the votes went to those 2 extremes. And it's really disturbing. It's really disturbing because no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to find that area where we can sit and build some kind of consensus. And that's why equality is absolutely crucial. However, liberty and equality alone are not enough. There's a quote, a George Orwell quote, outside the BBC in London. George Orwell was employed by the BBC. They put up a statue to him. They put up a quote. And the quote comes from the intro that he wrote for Animal Farm that wasn't used. It's quite a famous quote. It's in the book. It's this. It says, if liberty is to mean anything at all, it's the right to tell people what they don't want to hear. Yeah. I don't think that's liberty. I'll be honest with you, man. I think that's license. Because that gives you the right to say 2 + 2 = 5. It doesn't give you, it's not enough just to have liberty and equality. Everybody can say whatever the heck they like and we don't get anything. What you really need in order to ensure that there is some kind of deliberation, you can find some kind of consensus, you need that 3rd dimension, which is accountability. And that's the thing that's the fucking donut in the middle of the cake that's missing at the moment. And how do we know that's what's missing? I'll tell you. Liberty, free speech, without equality is nothing more than privilege. That's all it is. They're just people, got a platform, can say what they want. Every time they get criticised, they get pissed off. I mean, it's just this last week. I mean, it is everywhere. But just this last week, Bill Maher complaining about political correctness. Todd Phillips complaining about people are woke now. You can't say anything. You know something? Political correctness doesn't even exist. It's a trope used by reactionaries in order to police the limits of social change, to hold back things that they don't want to deal with. There is no such thing. There are things that are socially unacceptable. There are things that are socially unacceptable. But if that's what they are saying, I don't like the idea that there are things that are socially unacceptable. Because the difference between political correctness and social unacceptable is two things. Socially unacceptable suggests that there's consensus in society about something that you can't say, like the N-word, let's say. Let's use that example. That's socially unacceptable. But if you use political correctness, that suggests that there's some kind of conspiracy going on. Now, people are trying to do this for nefarious reasons. Bollocks, it's socially unacceptable. The majority of people don't accept that you can use that kind of language. So let's not take any lectures about political correctness off of people who are just trying to deflect away from their own sense that they no longer have the power to say whatever the fuck they want. Because it's not free speech they want, it's free reign. And that's not right. But here's the danger. Just let me get back to the danger. The real danger is that free speech without accountability is the most dangerous kind of freedom that there is, and that is impunity. And you have a president and we have a prime minister who have lived all their lives with impunity. And that's the dangerous place that we're falling into, because let me tell you, brothers, sisters, siblings, authoritarianism doesn't begin when they knock on your door in the middle of the night and drag you away. Authoritarianism begins when the powerful feel the regulations are lax enough that they can act with impunity. And that's where we're getting to already. We're already getting there. What do we do about this? Well, there's a number of things we can do, but one of the things we can do is support those people in the media who are trying to find out what the truth is and articulate it in a way that people can focus on and find consensus around.
Yes!
It says here, the unions will never learn. It says here, the economy's on the upturn. And it says here, we should be proud that we are free. And our free press reflects our democracy. Those brave voices on the right of the house are echoed down the street of shame, where politics mix with bingo and tits and the money and numbers game. When they offer you a future on Scotland to suspend your next report must give them penalties for sex offenders. It says here that this year's prince is born. It says here, you wish that you were better informed. And it says here that we can only stop the rot with a large dose of law and order and a touch of short, sharp shock. Because that's not reflect your view, you should understand. Those on the papers and so on this land. Rather you believe in Coronation Street capers. The war of circulation itself means papers. Be an infringement of the freedom of the press to print pictures of we states of our when you wake up to the fact that your paper is Tory, just remember, there are two sides to every story, man.